I love
Olu.
Guadalajara. It's one of my favorite places because I love working with people from there.
Okay.
Okay.
And I would like to know if you can clarify the different certifications like Cambridge and IELTS. Yes, we could do that, but not
Okay.
this.
So, hello everyone. My name is Brandon Loy. I am the director of Teacher Panda. Teacher Panda is a community of English language teachers and teacher trainers who wanted to do something different for society. And we wanted to make knowledge accessible for those who actually don't have the possibilities to have access to teacher training courses, because we know that these are fairly expensive. Hi, Relo from Mexico City. We have people from the
Belén is here
American Embassy
from
right now.
Maya.
And well, it is a pleasure for me to introduce you to Ana Caballero. Ana Caballero is one of the top teacher trainers in Mexico. Right now, she's currently working on writing books for different editorial houses, teaching books, of course, for different schools and levels as well. She's also an illustrator. She has her own cartoon called Ana del Norte, which I love. And apart from that, she works with me as a teacher trainer. She has a Cambridge Delta. She was the former director of the studies of International House Guadalajara, which is the place where I met her. And well, she was the best one to open up this series because, well, she's going to talk about how we need to adapt to this new age in English language teaching. And we know that it's not always easy, or that sometimes it can be very difficult to adapt. And if I know someone who's good at doing that and about redesigning her life and taking the best out of the worst, it's her. So without further ado, let's get us started. And I leave you in really good hands.
Oh, well,
Welcome, Anna.
thank you, Brandon. Okay, how can I change this? I'm trying to. This is new to me too. I mean, share. Okay, there you go. Can you see? Okay.
Yeah, I can see.
Yes, you can see my presentation. Great. Can you see my presentation? Because I can't see it. Oh yeah. No, I can't.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about this. I mean, I was talking to a good friend of mine an hour ago, and she said, "Well, teachers will understand if something goes wrong. I mean, we're pretty much new to this world, and we're pretty much adapting ourselves." Brandon just said something that it just reminded me of um, how good you have to be to reorganize your life, to adapt to new situations. And this is why I'm here for. Thank you. I mean, all the teachers are here. Oh, thank you. Yvonne, you're here. I have my cell phone with me because I want to, I mean, I'm going to try to read all the comments as we go. And later on, I will reply to some questions you may have. Some other questions may be answered by Brandon. Hello, Sotilan. Wow, I was there too. Um, but today I'm here to talk about, well, surviving teaching. That's the name of my talk, because I think we are all on the same boat, pretty much. Oh. Next, okay, there you go. Okay, well, let's begin. How do you feel today? How do you feel? I'm going to make some questions, and whereas you may write on the chat, you may just how to deal with the 40 minutes of class of Zoom. Yeah, I will talk about that too. We have to start from the most important part. How do you feel? How do you feel today? How are you feeling right now? Are you tired? Are you frustrated? Are you having trouble trying to manage all these new technologies? I'm fine, thank you. Okay, confused, sad, great, excited, better than ever, good. I'm happy to see to read that some of you are amazing or feel amazing. Some of you feel excited and nervous, pretty good. But I can also read that some of you are a little bit stressed, overwhelmed, tired. I mean, I want to ask you, how was your day? Did you teach today? I mean, today is Monday. Of course you taught today. I'm hungry. How many hours did you teach today? How many students did you see? How many hours have you spent sitting behind the screen? I can imagine that you spent more than, let's say, 8 hours teaching, that you saw more than, let's say, 40 students today, 80 students. I bet that you're feeling under a lot of stress. Some students, some teachers are exhausted. Some teachers have had a very busy day. Some of you spend a lot of time on Facebook or Instagram. 300 students, oh, Jesus. Around 60 students, 10, okay. And how many hours? 12 hours. Yes, so that, I mean, first of all, thank you for being here. I know some of you are exhausted and you're still here and you're willing to learn something. And I'm here to give some light to this moment in our lives because, as I said, we're pretty much on the same boat. Okay, you did not teach today, okay, Maria Aurora? All of you will teach tomorrow. You're already tired. Okay. Where is it? Okay, well, let's go back to February 2020. This was like 2 or 3 months ago. Brandon, I don't see the slides changing. Oh yeah, there you go. February 2020. What were your greatest challenges in teaching? Let's reflect a bit on our greatest challenges when we were teaching 3 months ago. We were in our classrooms, we were having disrupted students saying, teacher, teacher, teacher. You were grading homework. I mean, you were having, well, one of the problems was getting to work on time. You know, waking up at 5 in the morning, dressing up, getting ready, get your family ready, some teachers' meetings. Your problems were, some of them, your problems, I bet, that were books, not having a projector, not having a lot of resources. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. You were thinking about telling your coordinator to change the materials next year because those were not, those were not the ones you needed for your students. You were dealing with all these kind of situations that happen on a daily basis in the school. I mean, you'll have your buddy, I mean, your friend, that good friend that tells you, hang in there, we can do this. It's almost spring break and we'll be able to forget about this for 2 weeks and then come back. Okay, hi, Betty. Now let's compare it to today, April 27, 2020. Our challenges today, apart from having disruptive students, apart from having some materials that didn't work that well, apart from, I mean, dealing with seeing the teacher we don't like or the students that are really disrupting the class, today we have to deal with, okay, how am I going to use Zoom? Is the camera working? How can I use Google Classroom? Wait, Quizlet, what's that? Oh, Teams, let's use Teams to broadcast our lessons. Oh, wait, my children are hungry. Oh, wait, I have to homeschool my children. I have my husband, he wants to have lunch, but at the same time I have to teach and I have to prepare for my class. And then I have some friends that want to talk to me, but I'm still busy at home. Oh, Yes, I won't mention the C word because we're talking about how to survive and how to maintain a positive attitude towards all of this. I mean, now we're dealing with parents sending us WhatsApp messages 24/7, students who can't deal with technology, who are pretty good doing TikTok videos, but cannot attach a file on an email. And we're worrying about all of these other things that are, I mean, our health, mental health. You can't use your body language. Students feeling into, oh wow, some students are feeling enthusiastic, motivated about online lessons. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. But I've been talking to students and I've been talking to teachers. I've been reading articles and doing my research. And whereas some students and some teachers have this very cool attitude towards all of these things that are happening in the world, the truth is that 80% of the teachers feel just like me. I'm here. This is the first time I do a YouTube broadcast, whatever, like, video. I mean, I've done other online events, but this one is different. And when you do something for the first time, you feel really nervous. And yes, you have to, well, get used to learn new things every day. The C word, yes, that's a C word. I won't mention it. Well, I want to tell you that life as we know it has changed. It will never be the same. I think you already know this. I mean, dear teachers, you didn't sign up for this. Your students didn't sign up for this. We did, none of us did. It is a difficult situation. However, the only thing I can tell you is hang in there. I mean, you can do this. We're going to learn together. And I think that we're building a larger educational community. Oh, thank you. Well, what can we do? After hours of research and reading and interviewing teachers and psychologists, I could, the first thing I could tell you about what to do would be, well, we should begin by taking back the control in our lives. For example, I would recommend to keep a journal, to make notes on how you feel. I mean, it is important for you teachers, or for us teachers and trainers, to recognize how the virus has disrupted our lives, or if there's anything we're missing the most, the effect that this crisis has had in on our mental and emotional health. And well, what changes, big or small, are noticing in the world around you. In my case, I can tell you that as a teacher trainer, I used to travel a lot. These were the months in which I would go from place to place. I would train teachers all around the country, and it was fun. It was like a holiday for me. I mean, observing teachers, helping them to develop on their teaching practice. And now this just disappeared. From one day to another, I had all my meetings canceled and all the trainings canceled, and then we had to readapt. I think that it is important for you to make notes on how you feel, and just a kind reminder of, well, we're living in a historical moment right now. And in a few years, we're going to be able to say, okay, this is how I felt 10 years ago. And you will be able to share this experience with your students. Because in 10, 20 years, this was just a weird virus that came and changed a few things, but students will not know. but you will. And this experience will help you adapt to other situations in the future. Piece of advice. I just read that someone said, I hardly have time to go to the toilet. And well, this goes right with what I'm trying to tell you here. Choose your working hours, establish a routine, an area to work in. Okay, I know this may sound pretty simple, but it's not. Because sometimes we just wake up, go to school, come back, check some homework, and that's it. We're done for the day. But today, school is in our place. The school is part of our daily lives. And we have chores to be done. I mean, we need to look for others in case, I mean, if you have any children or if you have a husband that you need to cook for, I mean, we have temptations to drink more coffee, or sometimes we just feel like, oh yes, I need to run to Walmart right now to get something to eat. I mean, stay home, save lives, but still, we need to do grocery shopping, or we're waiting for the guy who comes and brings water for us. I mean, and we end up jumping from one thing to another, and you will find yourself scrambling to get things finished, and or working until all sorts of undesirable hours. So choose your working hours, establish a routine, an area. I mean, I do have my own room for teaching, but if you don't, keep that place with tape. I mean, I'm not joking. And that can be your designated place to work. Keep your materials there and leave them there. I mean, there is no need for you to take your computer to the sofa or to the bed, because that's not healthy. I mean, we're trying to maintain ourselves mentally, you see, I'm a bit nervous too.
Same.
Sorry, Brandon. I just that I was just thinking about all this idea of bringing your computer everywhere, and I used to do that. I don't do that anymore, and it helps a lot when you change your habits. You have to be realistic. I mean, if we're talking about teaching from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then checking homework from 4 to 6, do it. Do not get distracted by other things. And you have to come back to prepare a lesson plan, yes, and you have to come back to prepare more tools. And it is pretty much insane to spend all of your time on the computer. I mean, if you used to travel for an hour to get to school, you could use that. You could still wake up at that time, at the same time, and use that hour to check your emails or prepare some tools for your lesson, or check that you have all the materials. But we have to be realistic. As I said before, create a workspace, and of course, dressing up helps. I mean, I'm not talking about, putting a bow tie on you, but at least all this upper part will help both you and your students focus on the lesson. And in case you have some parents, they won't see you wearing your pajamas. If there is an area, you could keep that area to yourself and limit that space. This will help you become more organized. And as I said, you can have a lot of time to complete planning, to check homework, and that's it. One of my favorite apps to do this, to organize my time, and I discovered this let's say, when did we do the Delta, Brandon? Like 4 years ago?
2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Three?
Yes,
What? That was
3 years ago.
4. I think it was almost 4.
Well, you did it 1 year before me.
Okay, this is Focus Keeper. I love it. This app has changed my life in so many ways. because it helps me become organized with my time. When I have to check homework, or when I have to write a book project or whatever, I downloaded this app and it gives me 25 minutes. I click here and it gives me 25 minutes of work to do. I usually, depending on the work I'm doing, I put my phone on flight mode and then I forget about the world. Nothing else but my job. Then it gives me a 5 minutes break. Then I go to the toilet. I mean, I wait until I have that 5-minute break so I can go to the toilet, get some water, and then come back. And it gives you like this structure of work under pressure, so you don't get distracted with other things. Okay, let me just go back to YouTube so I can see you. Don't fall into the trap of logging on at 7 a.m. and off at 9 p.m. while trying to manage the rest of the household, trying to do exercise, studying something else. I mean, really, turn off the notifications on your phone. Once you have logged off for the day, you're done. That's it. Oh, first I haven't, the name of the app I use is Focus Keeper. Focus Keeper. And as I was saying, you're done for the day. I mean, if you teach on Saturday morning, well, do that. But take the rest of the afternoon off. Take your Sunday off, or if you want to plan for an hour, just take that hour to plan and don't let anything else interrupt you. Okay, let's continue. And this is very important with the previous point I was making. Make sure people you live with understand that you are not having a long holiday. This is not a normal situation. You may have to homeschool your own children. You may have a partner, and you should establish a clear routine. Manage your work hours, your partners and your children's work hours, so all of you have a clear routine. Let's say mommy works from 7 to 2, and then she checks homeworks from 4 to 5:30, let's say, and then you have time for your children, time to do some exercise, and have some time to read. I mean, as I said before, make sure to work your ways around it. You cannot turn it, oh, okay, that's the thing. I mean, if you have your students sending you their homeworks through WhatsApp or whatever, you could have them do this by email, or give them a window of time in which they can do this. It's like training students, exactly. It's like training students at the beginning of the school year. We started a new way of teaching. This is a new classroom, this is a new you, and you have new students. You have to make a very clear schedule, and people have to respect that. I mean, with people, I mean the other teachers, students, coordinators, parents. I mean, this is for everyone's good. I mean, it's not something that I just came up with. It is normal that everyone wants to, you don't know when your work ends and your life begins. Yes, that's the situation. We need to start getting some boundaries in what we do and how we do it. And if I have any coordinators listening to me right now, if you don't want your teachers to go crazy by the end of the school year, this should be an agreement between all of you. Okay, which are going to be the hours in, the teaching hours for teachers? Are they going to have 24 hours to reply emails? Is that logical when they have, let's say, 30, 35 students. Can we arrange sometimes so teachers have a space so they can do their own things? Let's think about all of us as a learning community. Let's think about how teachers are going through the same stress that parents are going and children are going, and we should look at this as a whole community. We're all part of that. That's why I'm saying establishing a clear routine for everyone is vital. Okay. Okay. Have some time for yourself. We are spending too much time at the computer each day. I mean, between planning, delivering lessons, setting and marking tasks, virtual meetings, virtual staff room conversations. I mean, we need some time to stretch our legs. I mean, we need to give our eyes a rest. If you're spending 8 hours teaching, you must devote some time to your hobbies and recreation. I mean, you need to reflect on your day. You need to do something different rather than sitting on the computer. Set limits, yes. It is. Miriam Garcia just said something like set limits because, as you said, we are wives, students, mothers, teachers, housewives, all at the same time. And she says in capital letters, it could be stressful. I wouldn't use the word could. I would say it is stressful. We're all going through this process. And I can see that many people are grieving their normal lives, and it's normal. Students are going through a grief process in which they miss their friends or miss the contact with other human beings rather than their parents. And we're all having cranky days, and we're all having bad days in which technology won't help. That's why I'm saying, please have some time for yourself. I mean, you could do some exercise. I'm trying to do more exercise because my back hurts. I don't know if your leg hurts or if your back hurts or if even your eyes are burning or your hands for all this typing. Sitting on the computer is unnatural for us because we're walking around the classroom all day, and suddenly we're here sitting down doing nothing else but replying to emails, teaching Zoom lessons or Teams or whatever, leaving homework, checking homework. But as I said, have a schedule and at least have an hour to do something you like. If you like cooking, if you like dancing, if you like doing Zumba lessons, whatever, do it. This is going to be for your own good. Otherwise, you won't make it till the end of the school year. And I don't want to sound dramatic, but it is what it is. You need to have a life. There you go. Well, social media is good in small amounts. There are several groups on Facebook and WhatsApp groups in which we can share many good teaching ideas, some teaching resources. But just this can be part of your schedule. I mean, just have an hour of checking all these forums or working with these WhatsApp groups or looking at all Teacher Panda's posts, because you can find good resources for you and the students to make your life easier. However, if you spend more than 3 hours, you could feel trapped in a social media cycle, going from one site to another, trying to do everything at the same time but doing nothing. You're running all day. Okay, good. It's also useful to talk to people. I mean, if you were going to therapy before this, I recommend keep going to therapy. Do it on a video call. It works. because we all need to bend. It's not, we cannot blame this on our students or the other teachers, or we cannot be angry at our husbands or our family. It's just something that happened and we need to learn to deal with it. Well, as I said, social media is good, but let's use it in small amounts. Build in a specific amount of time during your working schedule for research and try to stick to it. Okay, from 7 to 9 p.m., well, from 4 to 5 p.m., I will talk to other teachers. Exactly. Coordinación Bosques, yes, you're right. It's also not to think that we can do 2 or 3 things at the same time. That's what I said at the beginning of this talk. I mean, if you are checking homework, just do that. Don't get distracted by anything else. If you're going to prepare your lesson plans, do it in 45 minutes, but focus just on that. Oh, you're working while listening to me. I'm sorry to hear that, Francisco. But we really need to be aware of our mental sanity right now. Well, another thing I would like to thank you for for working and listening to me, but this is not healthy because you get too tired from doing 2 things at the same time after spending all day in front of a computer. Something else I want to tell you is, well, don't be afraid. Technology isn't reliable. Things can go wrong. I mean, we know that, students know that. This happens to all of us on a daily basis. But now, with the current stress that we're dealing with, we can start panicking if the internet isn't working. So we should make sure students are aware of what to do. For example, have a WhatsApp group in case something happens, or if a video is not playing, well, send them the link so they can do this using their own internet. Keep calm and carry on, just as we would do. Oh, wait. Do you see the other slide or not?
We are in don't be afraid, really don't panic, technology isn't reliable.
Oh, good, because I didn't have that one. I mean, I'm trying to follow my presentation on the phone and it was different. So keep calm and carry on as we would do in a regular class. Okay, but always have a plan B. Something else that is very important is, well, be practical, keep it simple, be really selective with your activities. I mean, this is a new medium. Just as we have to ensure our classes our students are having a friendly environment in our classroom. I mean, students should feel safe, and we have to ensure they're also happy to come, and be taught online. I would recommend to start with simple routines that you used to have in your face-to-face environment. For example, if you're a kindergarten teacher and you will start your class with what today is, and then you will have your students say the day to you, well, do that. So little by little, they can start feeling this sense of security. Ensure you provide the necessary time that will allow them to interact with you. For example, if you could use on Teams, we have the thumbs up, thumbs down. When checking instructions, you can say, if you're on page 50 and can see exercise 5, give me a thumbs up. So you're interacting with your students and you're checking instructions. As you would do it in a normal classroom, break instructions down into small pieces. If there are things that you know that are not going to work online, don't even bother. I mean, if you know that reading out loud will take loads of important time from your lesson, try to do the comprehension activities, reading comprehension activities, so they do it on their own. Try to start with simple things. I mean, you've been teaching online for a month or a month and a half. So we start with the basics. Well, does the video work? Does the microphone work? Is there a chat box? How can I use this chat box to interact with my students? Are the participants there? Are they okay? Try not to send a lot of homework. That's important too. Another thing I would like to say, and it goes with the other point I was making, plan effectively. The lesson should have a clear aim. You should have a clear aim to follow. I mean, it is not, even if you're an experienced teacher and you could be able to race into a classroom and deliver a pass with extension class, you cannot get away with that in an online lesson, because there are many activities you could just decide, okay, which are the activities they can do on their own? What can they do in groups? What do they need me for this activity? Okay, extra work could be optional. I mean, this depends on the school system you're working with. Yes, don't send a lot of work. Exactly, that's why I'm talking about being practical and plan effectively. I mean, if there are 8 activities in the book that you will do in a normal classroom, you should ask yourself, which activities are completely vital for my students to reach this aim? And you should leave the other ones as optional activities, because your students are learning to deal with this too. And your class should keep a nice flow. It shouldn't be boring. You can establish routines. For example, have the date of the lesson, check homework, have a speaking warm-up activity, homework before finishing the class. You could set homework and prepare to finish the lesson. Does that make sense? Hello? Does that make sense? If you use a song for an activity, that's fine. But yeah, I'm reading the comments. I'm trying to read the comments as well.
They may take a little bit, like about 10 seconds to appear because of the little delay there is.
Ah, okay, thank you. When we talk about classroom management, we should pretty much review some basic classroom management or rules to be reinforced. I mean, this should be a mutual agreement between both parties, between you and the students. I mean, some teenagers like to try your boundaries, but at the same time, you should agree. I mean, imagine if students are distracted in a normal day. Imagine now that they have the dog, their parents, they just had breakfast, they're hungry. I mean, we should do this as a mutual agreement. Like, hello, okay, we need to have these 5 rules for our lesson. Okay, the first rule, what do you think is the most important rule? And then you can decide which are the most important rules for you and, well, for the students and yourself to have a successful class. I read about setting up a buddy system. I don't know if you have heard about this, but this will be pretty much like having stronger learners working with weaker learners. You could set up a buddy system in which you can pair students up so they can contact each other if they don't know what to do, or if they're finding something difficult. Maybe they can have just, that friend to ask how they feel, or if they're going to decide how to start with some homework. However, I mean, this will make them more independent and more autonomous. So instead of texting you all day or sending you emails 24/7, they could direct those messages to this other student. And we're trying to have independent learners. Other thing we can do is ask our students, what are you going to do to learn today? I mean, to learn something new, or what do you want to learn today? Exactly. You can use a situation as a topic. You can talk or write about how they're feeling, and I'm going to go over that in a moment. We should experiment as well. Oh. Okay. When teaching online for the first time, we may be tempted to just teach the book as we will do it in class. And that's very natural, because when everything's new at once can be overwhelming. And as I read before, most of you feel overwhelmed and tired. However, just because you're online, it doesn't mean that you can't forget about all the fun, all the extra activities from the book you have learned over the years. You just need to get a little bit more creative. For example, you could have Google Docs to get students collaborating on writing tasks. You could incorporate software like Kahoot. I remember that when I was teaching secondary a few years ago, we will have this, at the end of the week, we'll have this review, and I will ask the students, what have you learned this week? Because the school I used to work at, they used to ask for evidence. You know the favorite word? Evidence. We need to have evidence that students learned something. Okay, so I would do this activity in which I will have them draw a tree and then write all the ideas that they learned during that week. For example, we learned how to create characters. I mean, I used to teach literature, or how to manage the plot in a story. I mean, and they used to write their ideas. Nowadays, I would do that in Google Docs, and I will have students ask them write what they learned, how they learned it, or even how they feel. The bean experiment. Practice makes perfect. I mean, if you need to run Kahoot for the first time, don't do that with your students. Do it with a friend of yours or with a colleague, and then do it with your students, because we have to be prepared to fail, right? And as I said before, you should practice with your friends or colleagues. We need to keep it interactive. I know this hasn't been such an interactive class, because this is not a normal class. However, I've been reading your comments. I've been trying to mention some of them because they're very important. Everything you say is important, but we must keep our students involved as much as possible. We need to think how distracted students can be in a real world classroom when you're in the room with them, and then saying, okay, well, now it's different. We can think of how they can use the annotation tools and what polls you can run, and you can try to avoid long readings or listenings if possible, because they can do that as homework. Yes, they don't pay attention when they're hungry. And we need to experiment with different activities. Another thing I want to tell you is it is important that you keep that smile of yours. Your students miss that smile of yours, and rapport is vital to successful classroom management in any medium. I mean, face-to-face or online. You have to build it, you have to nurture it, You have to maintain it and keep it alive, keep that magic alive. In an online classroom, we really must be fully aware of faces and body language. I mean, on video screens, yes, they look little, but we may exaggerate our responses to them. Our goal should be that students have a nice and joyful environment. To ensure that students are engaged with us and us with them. I mean, we're here for our students, and I know you're here because you want to learn new things on how to do with your students. I mean, we can use a chat box on the participants box to ask them what page we're on and for them to type it in, or ask answers, very short ones, to different exercises, or tell me a thumbs up or a thumbs up. And as I said before, smile, smile, smile. They're going through a difficult time right now. So are you, but you're the teacher. You're the one guiding them, and you're the one doing all this work. So we're all sane during this situation. I know this might be hard because you're tired and you feel that your job never ends. But if you use my previous piece of advice, which is, I mean, the first one, which was, remember what the first piece of advice was? Have a schedule, a clear schedule for everyone, even for yourself. You could also tell your students to have this schedule for themselves. And this could work with parents as well. So we work on discipline. And enjoying our classes is very important. I'm kind of enjoying this kind of interaction. I could do this again. And I know you have to do this every day. And I really recognize all the work you've been doing. But as I said before, smile, smile, smile. Whatever happens, if internet fails, smile. Because that will keep your students calm. Another important point is connect with your students. Meaningful social connections are important for people at any age. Okay, and they're vitally important for teenagers and for people that work with teenagers. We should try to have activities about what we have in common with our students, or activities they can do in pairs, or activities they can even do with their parents. I mean, how do you feel? How do I feel? We can share feelings about the situation itself, make them aware of what they have learned, finding something they feel passionate about. I mean, in learning environments, we can support our students by striking a balance between opportunities to develop and maintain individuality and developing a sense of belonging and social connectedness, both within the group and their communities outside the classroom. Face-to-face interactions have been dramatically reduced. So can we encourage social connectedness through the activities we set as teachers? Yes, we can. For example, we could, if you see the drawing, we can talk about the feelings. I mean, feelings I have as a teacher, feelings students have. We could see what things we have in common. We can understand that we are all different. You can send them messages on the forums, like, I'm here for you. Send them a cyber hug. Have students become aware of how important they are. Ask questions in which they share what they know this week they didn't know last week. If they care about something this week that didn't care about last week. Do you believe in something new? We have to be very clear, because giving instructions in a daily basis can be difficult. Imagine when we talk about an online environment, especially with larger and lower level learners, these instructions are more difficult. So I would say write your instructions in the chat box or use the annotation tools to highlight what they have to do, if they have to circle, if they have to tick on the box, or when using Zoom, but your students, my students are sad. Am I sad? Well, sometimes both of you are sad and you can talk about that for 5 minutes as a warmer activity. And yes, the Venn diagram, it's something we could use to see what we have in common with your students, or you can have students work in pairs to complete that Venn diagram to see how they're feeling. You can also have a WhatsApp group so they can discuss other things or activate a schemata before class, as well as getting students reflecting after class. Okay, I have 4 more minutes, but don't worry, I'm almost done. I want to tell you something. Maybe you never saw yourself as an online teacher, but technology is here to stay. It is important to learn, unlearn, and learn again. We are all learning. And you're here, you have to embrace this challenge because this will change the way we teach. Think about the professional development you're getting and how this is making you even a better and professional teacher. Let's be positive and make the most of the opportunity. To finish this talk, I would like to tell you that everything will be okay. I think that as long as we keep chanting this mantra, like everything is going to be okay or everything will be okay, this will help us focus on what's important to succeed. Okay, we can make mistakes and that's normal. We could reflect on our day, but it is important to remember how important, how vital you are. I mean, you're not going to be, we are not teachers, we're not going to be replaced by technology. Of course not. Because apart from the academic knowledge that we have, we can also, we do other things. We set the example, we're role models. I mean, as you can see on my cartoons here, good teachers teach and great teachers inspire to do something different. We have always taught from the heart, and I will repeat this: teach from the heart. Keep teaching from the heart behind the computer. One day, maybe in a few months, maybe 2 months, maybe in 3 months, we'll go back to our normal classroom. But all this effective planning, all these tools that you've learned, they will be helpful in the future. We have to teach, encourage your students, praise them, tell them how good they are. If they're improving in certain topics, let them know. Guide them through this process because students are suffering, and I know you've been suffering, but I hope that after this talk, you feel a bit better about all the situation. Well, thank you very much for today. If you have any questions, I think we can have, oh, technology is here to stay sharp. Yes, I can. You have to learn. Oh, yes, this is me and the computer. I mean, as Brandon said before, I'm a cartoon artist and I drew all these cartoons. I didn't include my website here, but I will post it somewhere. I was very scared at the beginning and I was talking to my computer and telling her, okay, we can be good friends, don't let me down. Please have the, please microphone work. And suddenly I think we've done this and I hope you feel way better than an hour ago. Thank you very much for this. And well, ta-da. Well, there you go. Brandon?
Anna, can you please stop sharing the screen so that they can see us like on a bigger size?
Oh, okay, sorry. You see, I'm learning too. Is this part of
the
process?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a learning process, sorry, for all of us on Teacher Panda, because This is the first time that we host an event like this one, and I have to say that I am enjoying it a lot. I do consider that at the end of the day, as she mentioned, technology is going to be here to stay. But what's more important than technology and everything else is you as a teacher. And that's why I wanted to start with this talk. She has delivered it several times, nationally and internationally. She revamped it and made it appropriate for the current situation. And the first thing that came to my mind was, um, teachers are not okay, their students won't be okay. So to me, it was very important for you guys to get to hear about this, about strategies that could help you work on your emotional intelligence, and also to touch on that part of you as a human, because yes, we're teachers, but at the end of the day, we're also humans. Yes, Anna?
Oh, sorry. It's just that there are some questions, and I wanted to tell them that I may be replying to some of their questions on YouTube, and they wanted me to share my website, my cartoon website. So I will post it here in a minute. And another thing, Brandon, I wanted to, I mean, since we started late, I wanted to tell you, well, I prepared a talk that was keeping the magic alive years ago with a good friend of mine, as you were saying. But when I saw the current situation, I said, well, teachers are not the same right now. So we should talk about what's going on now and how we can deal with the situation now. And whereas many of the points that I made in the original talk have changed, I mean, the part of being practical, keep it simple, time management, classroom management, all of this, helping students become more autonomous or independent, well, they are still there. Okay, let me just, can I share my screen for a moment? And then, oh no, can I?
Yes, yes, you can.
Sorry. How can I do this? Oh, wait, sorry, Brandon, sorry. You see, this is the first time we do this. Well, Brandon is a genius in technology. I mean, he's great. There you go. This is my Instagram account. This is my Facebook account, Ana del Norte, because I'm from the north. You know, I'm from Sinaloa. And you can find more cartoons there. I'll start posting more cartoons about teachers dealing with this online situation, and then I'll stop talking because we are not having one of our conversations, Brandon. This is your first event, and I'm really grateful for being part of this because I've seen you since you started doing your CELTA. I mean, you were such a baby, and now you're here, and you're the one who invited me to start with this. So I'm very proud of you, my friend.
Thank you, thank you. I'm really grateful to all of you guys. We had a great response, more than 200 people being connected and participating. And as I told you, well, this is a collective project. We have many teachers who are doing this voluntarily. I want to say thank you to different companies like the American Embassy, because they sent me to people like Kim Carroll, who is going to give one of our talks, to Enseña por México, which is an institution that is also going to help us with one of the talks. And to different institutions like Códice and TESOL Training for Life, because this is a project that we're doing to try to bring some light to the current situation. And we're not making any money out of it. It's just, the idea was just to help, to bring something new for you guys. So remember that tomorrow we have another date. I'll see you at 8. We're going to talk now about technology in the classroom, different strategies that you can use, challenges that we're going to face. And at the same time, we're also going to talk about resources that are free for you to access them. And we're going to give you a list of them. Remember that in 2 hours, we'll post a little test for you to answer on this talk. And if you obtain a passing grade, you will obtain a digital badge, which actually can be tracked, and the employer can actually see what the talk was about and how long it was. So if you get it, is 1.5 hours of training. So I'm really glad and thankful to you guys, and I hope to see you tomorrow. So keep posted. Stay posted to get more information. Don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Check our sponsors. They didn't give me money. That's not that kind of a sponsor. What I mean is that they're supporting this project. Smart Training, which is a teacher training center in Enseña por Mexico. So please follow them, because I'm really thankful, because this wouldn't be happening without them and without you guys for watching us. And hope the next webinars are interesting to you. We're going to talk also about inclusion in the classroom and civil rights. So thank you guys for joining us, and see you in the next one.
Bye-bye. Thank you.